Thanks. Adam, first of all, one debutant out, one comes in. Tell us about Brant College.
Yeah, he's performed really well in the NAB Challenge series and East Perth on the weekend, so he's in the mix for sure.
What do you think at this stage? Are you thinking that he'll play, or is it too early to say?
Oh, you got to wait a couple more hours before that one. But he's in the squad for a reason, so he's earned his spot there, and where he lies, we'll find out in a few hours.
Why did
you
you drop
expect him
Dom
to go
Sheed?
to Melbourne? Adam?
Find out in a few hours.
What about Dom Sheed? Why did you drop him?
Oh, look, if he played again this week, it really wasn't anything to do with his performance. It was just the fact if he played again this week, he's probably going to be sub again. And we wanted to give him 4 quarters at waffle level and get him a good run at it. So that was the main reason for Dom.
We used to think of College as more of a key forward. Can you just talk about the player you sort of want him to become now?
Yeah, he's really embraced the flexibility of what we've been doing over pre-season, and his impact on ball has been really good. And he's managed to kick a couple of goals every game he's played. So that's a rare skill to have still have impact in midfield and still have some scoreboard presence. So that's the main reason why he's progressed the way he has.
Are you looking over the mid-term to add some size to your midfield? Because you've also got Tunbridge, who's a good size, who's playing a bit through there at Waffle.
Yeah, it's one of the main things when we first got here that we identified as the size of our midfielders. But then I look at our team and what we can do with the players we can run through there. It's not as big a concern as I thought it might have been. So even with someone like Jack who can pinch hit in there, and Tunbridge coming through and College and those likes can have a fair bit of presence in the midfield and can always chuck Nick in there as well.
What do you like best about Brant from what you've seen of him so far?
Ability to find the ball and have a fair impact forward of the ball. So and he's been really consistent. So he's still got a fair bit of work to do, but the work we've seen from the first day we got has been really impressive.
Is there a type of player you could compare him to in the AFL?
No, not really. I can't off the top of my head, but look, a forward or centre midfielder that can contribute. I don't know.
Looking forward to getting away with the group.
Yeah, we are. We went to Blacktown a few weeks ago. That was with a really young squad. I think we had 7 or 8 players out. So first opportunity to travel with the senior group that for 4 points. So it'll be interesting. It's all a little bit different with our training, and obviously our coaches, we mentioned that a lot of times before, but another new for us is a new hotel. And we trained yesterday, and just a few little things that we're doing differently.
What about Roosy's comments about he'd like to play without the scoreboard? What did you make of that? Yeah,
well, that's that's Roosy's thoughts. I'm pretty keen to have a scoreboard. We need to find out if we're going to win or not.
And what about him at the end there? A little twist saying that it was hot on Sunday here and it might affect you coming over. You have to travel. Any concerns there at all?
Look, one thing we are used to, I'm not quite used to it yet, is the heat. So the hotter the better for us.
What have you made under Melbourne under Paul Roos? We're only 1 game in, but what have you made of them?
Oh, look, there's a distinct change of style, isn't there? And we've seen it work against Richmond in the NAB series, and it's something that we're aware of. And try your best to plan for, whilst you'll also keep an eye on your own style of play. But there's definitely some change there from last year.
Would it be fair to say when Dom Sheed came on initially, he sort of was, wow, this is what's going on here, Phil?
Oh, look, I think when you have a first gamer who's a sub in round 1, they might play the game a fair bit before they get on. Mind you, I come off at 3/4 time and he had his legs crossed on the bench, so he looked pretty relaxed. I think it was a pretty, obviously, a big first step, and it would have been really exciting for him and his family.
Adam, we saw Sharad Wellingham leave just a few minutes before his press conference, had his left knee in a compression bandage. Any issue there?
No, not that I'm aware of, unless he's hurt himself this morning, which I hope he hasn't. But I'm sure it's all about how we travel. Yeah.
And Shuey?
Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, it was a precaution while we took him off at 3/4 time, and he's trained all week and he's fine.
You were pretty comfortable last Sunday. Anything jump out in the review?
Oh, look, we were disappointed with our last quarter last week, to be honest. And there was 14 goals kicked, and I don't think that's the way we want to play, albeit we kicked 8 of them. We had really good defensive actions for the first 3 quarters, and then the last quarter, we lost a bit of control with the game. It just ping pong up and back, and I don't think we want to play that way.
Are you ready for Nick to play in the ruck now? Is he ready, do you think?
Oh, look, yeah, we'll explore probably our tall unit again, and he'll be part of that. So yeah, we're not quite set on what we want to do at the moment with our ruck division, but we've got some options there.
You've seen some pretty athletic talls in your time. You've been at Hawthorn with Franklin and Roughhead's very athletic too. But they are exceptional athletes for their size. The ones you've got, aren't they? Nat Nui, Kennedy, Darling.
Yeah.
Even Sinclair is athletic in his own right.
Yeah, well, we couldn't play them all if they weren't. Their biggest asset at the moment is their pressure they can put on when the ball hits the deck. So if they can do that and we can get some advantage out of the height, that's a bonus. If they don't do that, then we've got to look at it.
Did Kennedy just get squeezed out in the way the setups were on the weekend, do you think? And what was...
No, not really. I think he might have missed a couple of opportunities that he'd probably take normally, to be honest. And also he's our leader down there, so he will control our forward line at will. And if he thinks he can isolate someone that's, got more of an advantage than him, he'll do that. And that's something I've noticed with his selfless approach to the forwards. And I think you'll see more of that.
Just give us an update on Beau Waters as well. How
He's training really well. Yeah, I think he's 3 or 4 weeks away from playing. So now it's just getting the conditioning rather than his body. It's just train with the group all the time and prepare like he's going to play in 3 or 4 weeks.
And when you play a team like Melbourne, and like yourselves, they've got a new coach, but also you're expected to win. That's just stating it as it is. How much do you focus on what they're trying to do, and how much are you just focused on further developing your game style?
Yeah, we've got nothing but the utmost respect for Paul and Melbourne and what they can possibly do. So dealing with expectations is a weekly thing. Sometimes you're favourite, sometimes you're not. But we've put a lot of work into what Melbourne do. But at the same time, you've got to play your way as well. So finding that balance is probably the challenge of our coaches, and we think we're close to it.
What did you notice about them last week that's different to what you saw from them in 2013?
Oh, geez, where do you start? They're a completely different side. Yeah, personnel's changed. They've got some really good midfield strength. Obviously, they control the ball a little bit more. Missed out on some opportunities on the scoreboard. They had more scoring shots than the Saints. So it tells you that they're doing a lot of things right, and it won't take much for them to click.
Is there a fair bit of improvement in your team still to go, do you think? Like, obviously, Kennedy,
Yeah.
Hearn was a bit down a bit.
Was he? I think he was all right.
It's just, well, compared to him, what we expect from him.
Okay.
I suppose.
Yeah.
High expectations. Anyway.
I don't think I'll look too much in individuals and how they're performing. It's probably a collective as a unit, how we go. And I thought we've still got a fair bit of improvement in terms of finishing off the game. Also, different changes in tempo of the game. Handling those things on field as a playing group is the long-term goal. And as a coaching group, we probably missed out on a couple of opportunities to manipulate the game a little bit as well. So we're still a fair bit away from where we want to be.